Hey, Dr. Mike here. So you want to live forever-ish? Well, you got to know what's in and what's not. Stay tuned to find out.
You're listening to Live Foreverish, a show dedicated to helping you live just a little longer. Here's your hosts, Dr. Mike and Dr. Crystal Gossard.
All right, welcome to Live Forever-ish, the ins and outs of living a little longer, but a whole lot stronger, Dr. Crystal. In number one, I know you love this one.
Of course I do.
Fiber and arthritis. It makes sense when I read the whole thing, but when you first hear it, you're like, what? So kind of explain the theory behind this.
Well, we know that fiber, first you have to think about risk factors for arthritis. Weight. Diabetes, blood sugar
age itself.
Age.
Inflammation, chronic inflammation.
Yes. So then you think about the role of fiber, and we know that fiber, first and foremost, can help with weight management. It helps you to have more feelings of being full. We know it supports the gut health. And when you're thinking supporting gut health, now you're thinking mood, motivation to get out and be active and be fit, because movement is good for arthritis. Many people don't realize that. And supporting gut health helps to manage inflammation. So it all kind of, I think, comes together
it does.
When you think about it in that way.
It's almost like a holistic approach to it. It's not that fiber would be ever like prescribed for arthritis.
Maybe it should be.
Well, but part of the lifestyle thing.
Right.
Hey, get exercise, get more fiber, control that inflammation. So this was a little over 32,000 participants, ages 20 to 85. The fiber data, dietary fiber intake, was collected through 2 24-hour recall interviews. So that's kind of like a survey type stuff.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. And then there was a final, that was separated by 3 and 10 days. And then there was a final dietary fiber intake being the average of the 2 dietary interviews that were calculated. This is basically, they're looking at a couple days of fiber intake, a last day, something like that, and they're averaging it. Is that kind of what they were doing?
Well, they looked at full dietary recall, not just fiber.
Okay, the whole what you ate.
The whole what you ate, and then it goes into this calculation, this kind of algorithm to gather, and estimate the typical amount of fiber that the participants typically consume. Yeah. So, and they use data from a population study. We know NHANES.
NHANES, yeah.
So that's where they just pull the data from kind of 10 NHANES rounds of surveys to pool, kind of find the people who, one, consume diets with fiber, as well as individuals from those surveys who had osteoarthritis.
Yeah, so in this group here, right, there was about a little over 1,800 that had self-reported arthritis, which is about 6% or so of the total group. And so then they did find a beneficial threshold, right, between a certain amount of dietary fiber intake.
Yeah, and that's when you look at association studies, sometimes you say, okay, there's an inverse relationship, meaning fiber goes up, arthritis goes down, but it wasn't kind of a direct line, a straight line. You kind of saw this U, and that U represents there's the threshold that anything above, which is 26.7 grams per day, was not significantly protective. Maybe it is protective because, I go to 30, sometimes depending on if you're looking for heart health, you may want to take in a little bit more fiber. But if we're looking at arthritis, then your threshold is 14.4 to 26.7 grams per day, which is easy.
Yeah. Basically, if more of us just ate a little more fiber, we can be in this range.
Well, what does that mean, Dr. Mike?
I don't know.
Come on.
It means eating, get more fiber, get more leafy greens, get on more of that plant-based.
That's It's as simple as that. I think people kind of think, oh, now I got to go get some Metamucil.
That's what they think, right? That's the first
thing. And the Metamucil's probably only give you about 3 grams.
There's better ones out there.
You're not even going to get that, it's not really supplementing that much. You can add black beans and get 16 grams in one little serving.
One little serving. Seaweed.
Black beans.
Seaweed salad.
Seaweed
loaded
salad.
with fiber.
So, it's really just making sure you are having fruit. And most people don't like veggies with their breakfast, although, a good spinach omelet can give you some fiber. But have some berries, some fruit. Yep. An apple will give you 3 grams. Like with every meal, try to
get some fiber in there.
Get some veggies. Yeah. Veggies will give it to you.
We'll get you up there, yeah.
Don't boil your veggies down to nothing.
Yeah, don't do that. I don't like that anyways. I think they get yucky tasting. I like oven roasted veggies. That's my favorite. There's different blanching maybe quickly. That stuff like that. But at the end of the day, the fiber is promoting a healthy gut microbiota, which is then enhancing short-chain fatty acids, which can suppress pro-inflammatory compounds.
Yeah.
That's basically what's happening. There you go. In number 1, fiber for arthritis. And that is good because, listen, you got to remain active if you want to live forever-ish. Period.
That's very true. And if you have arthritis, sometimes you don't feel like moving.
Well, you know what I used to say. You want to hear what I used to say?
What did you used to say?
People would know. They would.
Why don't you still say it?
Well,
why don't you still?
Because I don't. Again, when I was seeing patients, when I was working, I met in the past when I was actually seeing people.
All right.
People, because they would say things like, "Well, my joints just hurt so much, and I just can't exercise," and I'd flip it on them. I say, "Well, your joints hurt because you're not exercising."
Boom.
Ba-ba-da, boom.
Drop the mic.
All right, let's go on to
Close the door.
number 2. This one's fascinating. Love it. Lutein and some pretty dramatic effects on some of these metabolic markers we look at, right? Lutein.
Yes, and this lutein added in. Now, the previous study was about fiber, kind of what you're getting naturally in your diet. These individuals were taking 10 milligrams of lutein. This study was published in the journal Food and Function, March 2025. The title, Effective Lutein Supplementation on Blood Lipids and Advanced Glycation in Products in Adults with Central Obesity.
And lutein is one of these, I think most people probably recognize it as an eye antioxidant, right? Yes. Lutein, mesozeaxanthin, those kind of ones. It is, I refer to these as colored or pigmented antioxidants. They do great for the eye. They're natural in the eye.
Yes.
And here, this powerful antioxidant is, these results were pretty impressive.
Well, I think it's because you don't think about it for lipid levels. I think that stands out to us.
Yeah. 10 milligrams a day or placebo, 32 weeks, 94 people. And significant reductions in total cholesterol, low density lipoprotein cholesterol, ApoB. That's one we want to talk more about, right? That's a very atherogenic type of protein. Oxidative stress markers went down. All of this, significant compared to the placebo group.
Yep. So how do you get lutein in food as well? Because, I like to
I like the list here. Spinach, kale, and broccoli for sure.
Greens.
I like it all. Eggs, corn, I like it all.
Egg yolks.
Even better.
I know people that take the egg yolk out the eggs. I always say, put it burger.
Yeah, that's what you're not eating.
Phospholipids.
If you're eating omelet whites, get a life. Come on.
I don't know. I have been, I don't want to say a victim, but I have consumed many egg white omelets.
I know, and I'm just teasing.
But if put somebody those yolks back in.
If somebody feels that's important, then please do what you feel is important for you. But the yolks are, that's the nutritious sack that little chicken is trying to grow on.
Yes.
It's not the whites. All right, there you go, lutein. Isn't it nice? Again, just so simple. Lutein. simple nutrient add-in can have significant results. Okay, moving on to pomegranate juice and opioids. This is in number 3 to Live Foreverish. This is very interesting. This is one of those things where if, a lot of people, when we hear opioids, right, we automatically think the images and pictures in our head, right? And there's no doubt there are opioid addiction issues in this country, all that kind of stuff. But, the average opioid user is simply somebody who needed it for pain initially and is having a hard time getting off them. That's all.
Oh, for sure.
It's not all these crazy images that may pop into your head that the TV and shows are showing you. I'm not saying that stuff that at that level is not there, but it's not the majority. The majority are people who just had a car accident and they hurt their back and they were put on opioids because they needed it, and it's tough to get off them. That's all.
Yes.
So pomegranate, what? Okay, pomegranate. What's going on here?
Well, it's helping to, when you look at, and we didn't put any details on the mechanisms of action in here, but we do know that pomegranate is rich in antioxidants, punicalagins, ellagic acid, different anthocyanidins, and they can help to manage cravings. Yeah. And a part of it is by boosting antioxidant defenses, which we do see more oxidative stress in individuals with opioid use disorder.
Now these the patients or the subjects in this study, they were still on the normal medications that are helpful, right? Like methadone or something like that. So this is an add-in to what's the gold standard. We don't, you don't want to take people off the gold standard because they do work.
Yes.
It's just how maybe there's a quicker way to get them off everything. And that's kind of where the pomegranate idea came in.
Well, I think anything, that can help someone to stay on the bandwagon, if for lack of a better way of saying it. These people who were in the study, they were coming to the research clinic every day to get their medication. 30 minutes later, they were given about a cup of pomegranate juice. So this is 7 days a week. Yeah. So these are people who are motivated to get help for whatever reason. Right. Because they did this for 120 days.
Yeah, and so they go in so 120 days straight.
Yes.
They got the pomegranate juice.
Yes.
Okay. And then those that were on these meds that are used, right? At the end of the day, we can go into more of the details. It helped them to eventually get off, right?
Well, it just helped with the cravings. So
okay.
I'm not sure.
So the outcome is still.
Outs.
We need more research in the outcome part of it.
Yeah, I mean the research we would need is, did they get to a point where they? I mean, here's something, and maybe you can clarify this. If you have opioid use disorder, are you ever cured?
Yeah. Okay. I mean,
that's where I'm a little hesitant because I know alcohol use disorder.
You're not cured of it, but you get to a place with help, certain meds, certain whatever that is, certain lifestyle changes that allow you to modify your behavior towards that addiction, and stay sober. And off it. But that it's not, stressful times at life may kick it back in. That's common,
right?
But you get back on track. So there's always that risk of going back into that addiction. And that's something I think everybody needs to accept a little bit more in the addiction world, whether it's alcohol or anything really, that a person that is in recovery is kind of always in recovery. Right. And it's normal they're going to have times when maybe they slipped. But it's okay because you're always in recovery. You get right back in that next right, and I think that's we think of as you're done and you're no more cravings and you're great.
Yes.
No, it's not like that for anything.
Right. So, but anything that can help an individual stay on the path to recovery.
Yes.
And that's really what this is all about. And we do know now that I'm just kind of thinking about the study when I read through it, the researchers talked about some of the, I guess, the side effects and some of the oxidative stress that comes along with the medication.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where they kind of started thinking about the pomegranate is to kind of mitigate some of that that's going on with individuals.
So still a lot to learn here, what's
Yes.
really happening, right? But this is still, again, it's great to see. Anytime we can help somebody, again, stay in that recovery phase, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's fantastic. So that's pomegranate and opioid use. Moving to the out. This is what you don't want, Dr. Crystal.
I know.
And this one, yeah, you don't want migraines.
Yes.
You definitely don't want migraines. Here it says over 1 billion people worldwide have been labeled as one to have migraines, and it is one of the most debilitating conditions. I think we all know somebody.
Oh, for sure.
That's just, it's when it hits, they're out.
You're done. I
Yeah.
mean, you can just lay on the couch.
Yeah, and that's even hard sometimes.
The room is spinning.
Everything, yeah.
Sometimes you're nauseous, sensitivity to light, sound, smell. And it is more common in women.
In women.
We do
3 times
see
more
it
common.
associated with migraines related to the menstrual cycle. And so anything that can help to reduce the frequency, the severity of a migraine attack, I think is worth looking into, and that's where we are today.
Yeah, and that's the CGRP, right?
Well, no, it's CoQ10 is the nutrient.
Yeah,
CGRP.
that's what causes that. CGRP is what causes vasodilatation.
Yes, so that's a
Right.
part of
That's part of the migraine pathology. Yeah,
Right. Not the only thing. That's what makes it very difficult to treat.
Migraine, as so many things, multifactorial,
Mm-hmm.
right? But in this case, this is a neuropeptide that has been implicated in migraine flare-ups. It vasodilates, and that triggers inflammation and pain perception in the brain.
Yes, and we know that levels are elevated during and between migraine. We see there are also studies where the researchers kind of infused the patients with the CGRP to see what happened, and these are migraine patients.
Ooh.
Most developed
Those are brave people.
migraine-like headache, and patients who did not get a migraine, and these are people who don't suffer from migraine, they still got a headache from the CGRP. So we know CGRP causes head cavity discomfort.
Yeah, that's kind of, it's so sad. That's after Satan supplement.
I know.
But we know, and there are prescription medications already targeting
Correct.
this neuroactive peptide. But the efficacy is up and down. It's hard. It works for some and doesn't work at all for others. And so, but it's still a sought after mechanism to block, because that it does seem to be really it's one of those things where migraine may be multifactorial, but this neuroactive peptide seems to be involved in a lot of people's migraine. So that's where CoQ10 comes in. 400
milligrams. Study 45 women, episodic migraine. 400 milligrams or placebo for 1 month, and significant improvement in frequency, severity, duration of migraine attacks. So even if CGRP is not implicated in your specific migraine, it's still good for your heart.
It's still good.
It's still good for energy.
It's a daily add-in for me.
Yes.
I know it is for you too. Yeah, absolutely. So why not give it a try anyways, and maybe it can help a little bit with the migraine.
Yep, and this is along with or alone or along with migraine medication.
Yeah, for sure. That's fantastic. If I have some friends, I'm going to tell them,
Get some
some CoQ10.
But, in this study, again, the dose was 400. Some people take as little as 50.
Yeah, come on. Get it up there.
The max is, you see this higher dose for more neurological types of issues. So
100 to 200 milligrams is a good range for most people.
So try it out. If you need to up it, you can.
You can go to 400.
To 400. Yeah. Take it with food.
Fantastic information. Living forever-ish. A little longer, but
a whole lot stronger.
There you go. Don't forget at liveforeverish.com, tons of other episodes for you to like and comment and share. And please review. We need that. And also subscribe so you never miss a show. And our sponsor, Life Extension, right there. If you're watching on YouTube, they want to offer you, just say thank you. They're going to offer you, with the discount code podcast, 10% off $50 or more, plus free shipping and handling. That's over at lifeextension.com. I'm Dr. Mike. That's
Dr. Crystal.
Thanks for listening.